Now, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says that if he's invited, he'd be ready to join Presidents Putin and Trump at their upcoming summit, which is due to take place in Hungary. The Kremlin said Budapest was chosen as the venue for that upcoming meeting because the Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán has good ties with both leaders. Well, it comes as more details have been emerging about President Zelensky's meeting with President Trump, which of course took place at the White House last Friday. Well, the Financial Times reports that that meeting between the pair ended up in a shouting match as President Trump pressed President Zelensky to accept Russia's terms to end the war. Well, Mr. Zelensky was in Washington pushing for an American promise to supply Ukraine with long-range Tomahawk missiles. Well, the US president suggested that the best way to end the war in Ukraine would be to cut up the country's Donbass region in a way which would leave most of it under the control of Russia. Let's have a listen.
Yeah, Friday you said you had a cordial meeting with President Zelensky. During that meeting, did you tell him he needed to cede all of the Donbass region to Russia?
No, we never discussed it. We think that what they should do is just stop at the lines where they are, the battle lines. You have a battle line right now. The rest is very tough to negotiate. If you're going to say, you take this, we take that, there's so many different permutations. So what I say is they should stop right now at the battle lines. Go home, stop killing people, and be done.
What do you think should happen with the Donbass region then?
Let it be cut the way it is. It's cut up right now. I think 78% of the land is already taken by Russia. You leave it the way it is right now. They can negotiate something later on down the line. But I said, cut and stop at the battle line, go home, stop fighting, stop killing people.
President Trump speaking there. Well, let's speak to Alexander Merezhko, the head of Ukraine's Foreign Affairs Committee, who joins us live now from Kyiv. Welcome to BBC News. You were just listening with us to what we heard from President Trump. First of all, what are your thoughts on what he said?
Well, first of all, President Trump repeats the same proposal, ceasefire proposal, with which he started long ago. So he is offering unconditional ceasefire along the front line. And Ukraine had agreed to this proposal by President Trump. But unfortunately, we don't see any actions on the part of President Trump in response to Putin's rejection of this peace proposal. At the same time, it's understandably, sometimes it's difficult to be allies and to have open conversation and strong opinions. But it's normal. During the Second World War, there were also difficult relations between the allies, but they didn't prevent them to win the war. So it's normal to have serious discussions, sometimes even with emotions.
But this seems to be a repeat, doesn't it? Because this isn't the first time there's been a tense conversation between the two presidents on this issue.
Well, the most important thing that President Trump is committed to bringing peace to Ukraine. But the matter to be discussed is in which way, because first of all, we believe that the current administration of the president should follow the principle, respect the principle, nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine. And secondly, it's important to settle the issue, not the expense of the victim of the aggression. It should be settled in such a way that the aggressor will be punished and definitely not rewarded with territorial concessions.
And do you feel so far, given what we heard from President Trump and even what we've heard from the Kremlin this morning, talking about the good relationships between Presidents Trump and Putin, that actually Ukraine's not getting a fair voice in this?
Well, of what we hear from the Kremlin, that Putin remains on the same position. He continues to press his so-called maximalist demands, which means capitulation, surrender of Ukraine. This is totally unacceptable, and it means that Putin is not interested in serious negotiations. That's why I doubt that this planned summit in Budapest will ever take place.
And as the conflict, of course, in your country continues on, we know that you are pressing for more US military assistance, in particular those long-range Tomahawk missiles. Just tell us more about that need.
Well, first of all, we need air defense systems to protect our civilian population, because Russia continues to bomb our cities, continues to kill civilian population, and is bent on destroying our critical infrastructure during the winter, to bomb us into blackouts. So it's very dangerous. And also, we need long-range missiles, for example, Tomahawks, because we can win, and we will win this war with adequate military assistance from the United States. We managed to destroy lots of oil refineries, and we can stop Russian war machine from running. But to do that, we need a more decisive position of the President Trump and more military assistance, including long-range missiles.
OK, Alexander Merezhko, head of Ukraine's Foreign Affairs Committee, thank you very much for taking the time to join us live from Kyiv.